Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Arkansas Gun Guy. Appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't yet, please consider liking and subscribing. Today I want to take a look at, I think, two excellent subcompact striker fire guns from two of my favorite manufacturers on the market, Sig Sauer and the P320 XCompact, and H&K and the VP9SK. Again, these are a little bigger than the Micro 9s that are all the rage today. A little fatter, a little more grip, a little easier to shoot. Not quite as easy to conceal maybe, but still way more concealable than their big brother counterparts. So I'm going to take my best look, unbiased opinion of this Sig P320 XCompact and the H&K VP9SK. And to prove that I am Switzerland neutral in this, I am wearing both my Sig Sauer hat and my very cool H&K t-shirt. So I promise I'm a fanboy of both, so I won't give you a spin one way or the other. My honest opinion. And if you want this hat, you can buy it at Sig Sauer's website. They have gazillions. But if you want a really cool t-shirt from H&K, there's a lot more like this. Shoot me a note in the links, and I'll shoot me a note in the comments. I'll tell you where to find one. So here's the tabletop comparison. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Okay, here we go. Side-by-side comparison of H&K's VP9SK and Sig Sauer's P320 XCompact. Both striker-fired subcompact guns from, I think, two of my favorite gun manufacturers. I know there are H&K fans who hate Sig. I know there's Sig fans that hate H&K. I promise you, I love both, so I'll try to give you my unbiased opinion about all the things I like about one versus the other, and some things that are pretty much the same on both guns. Couple quick call-outs before I jump into the comparisons. You may note that this gun has an optic, this one doesn't. That's because this one is not cut for an optic and this one is. I will try to reference as much as possible in comparison what the sights will be on this gun versus this gun, because the optic is kind of a game changer and one of the benefits that the XCompact has over the H&K. But in general, other than the Wilson Combat grip module upgraded here and this optic, it's a stock P320 XCompact. The stock grip module was just a black polymer frame that looks pretty much like this, just different design from Wilson Combat. All that to be said, if you Google these online, all the search engines are going to tell you that the Sig is actually a bigger firearm, but it's actually not, even if it does look like it here, and I'll tell you why. The initial comparison, they'll tell you that the Sig is quite a bit taller, and that's because usually they will compare the 15-round standard grip module in the XCompact versus the 12-rounder VP9. The standard mag here has a little pinky release here, or a flat base pad, so it's quite a bit shorter. But this is the extended base pad. Mine holds 13. I've been told now these will hold 15 rounds. So once you add the 15-round magazine in there, they're very close in height now. Most importantly, they're pretty much the same width. So both these guns are kind of fatties, especially compared to the Micro 9s like the P365 or the Hellcat. So there's some of the most popular Micro 9s in the market, which H&K has chosen not to participate in. But these fat grips do give you a nice big fat grip to hold on to, making the guns, I think, a little more shootable. Not as easy to conceal because the width, even on paper, is just a couple tenths of an inch. Feels different in your hand, and definitely feels different in your pants. So they're a little bit harder to conceal, but a little bit easier to shoot. So they're pretty much the same height, they're the same width. I don't remember the weights. I think the Sig is slightly heavier. But the other thing, if you look online, it's going to tell you that the Sig is longer. And I'll show you that even though it may look like it, I don't think it really is that much longer. So I'll put the, very scientifically here, kind of line the front up. And you'll see that the reason the Sig is longer on paper is because of this giant beaver tail here. And I've really had no issue with slide bite on the VP9 or its sister or brother, the P30. But you have a more stylized, big beaver tail on the XCompact, which again is a great shooting gun. Love them both. But, so even though this is longer, if you look at the slides, the VP9 is actually a little bit longer than the Sig. So very interesting that even though it's a longer gun, the H&K has a longer slide and also a longer sight radius. The front posts are pretty much lined up here, and you can see that the VP9's sights are all the way to the back. The Sigs actually don't come that far back. So the VP9SK has a slightly longer sight radius. Again, it does not come with an option for an optic. You can do the aftermarket, where the XCompact did. That's why I have the dot on here. So even, and now to get even more confusing, the VP9 has a longer slide. I do believe that the XCompact has a slightly longer barrel. So they're all very, very close though, which again, that's why I think these guns are great comparisons for each other. Now, one thing I'll talk about quickly is modularity and how the Sig is probably the best thing on the planet for modularity. I bought the XCompact as my initial gun. I've then taken this grip module out, or the fire control unit out of this gun, and I've made probably 20 other different firearms, different sizes, different calibers, just based off of the one FFL when I used this serialized number for the fire control unit. So this is, I think, the most modular gun on the planet. It's like big boy Legos. You can make tons of different guns. So you have that. But the H&K actually does a couple of things with modularity that the Sig can't do. I mentioned this is the 15 round size magazine. It does come with a flat base plate or a small pinky extension 12 rounder, or this, so it can be, roughly the same length, but a shorter grip, making it maybe slightly easier to conceal. Or you can have the same size grip. Or this also takes the full size VP9 or P30 full 17 round magazines, or even extended 20 round magazines. Now, the Sig also takes the extended magazine, so they can both go longer, but the Sig can't go shorter in the grip module, and the H&K can. So while this may be the most modular gun on the planet, the H&K does do one thing the Sig can't, which is make a slightly shorter grip if you want that. Now, again, I also talked about customization. The grip module on the Sig is amazing. These grooves here are excellent, and it's very comfortable in your hand. Great gun to shoot. Really a big fan of this gun. But the Germans have figured out ergonomics, I think, better than any, because this is very customizable, as you can exchange the back straps and the side panels. The gun comes with three different side panels, small, medium, and large for left and right, and 3 different back straps, small, medium, and large. So you can, I'll flip this over so the light's better. You can change out this back strap for a bigger swell or a smaller swell based on the size of your hand, as well as the grip panels. You could have an extra large grip panel and smaller back strap rather, and small side panels if you want, if that fits your hand better. So super customizable, just at a different level on the VP9. Now, the other thing I'll talk about is just how the guns have worked. I shoot them both really, really well. I'll look at the triggers first. So the Sig has a flat trigger, where the H&K has got a curved trigger. I'll start with the H&K. Another thing the H&K does have is the fact it has these little ears here that make it really easy to rack the slide. My wife likes that feature as well. You can just grab these, or you can grab here or up front with the front serrations and rack the slide. And this has what looks like a standard striker fire, your normal curved trigger with a safety dongle on there. And it's really one of my favorite striker fire triggers. It's very good, clean break. Good clean break. Now the Sig is different in that it does not have a curved trigger or the safety dongle. And I know the Sigs are legendary for going off in people's pants and shooting themselves in the foot. So I've never had that issue, but it is actually on my mind. But this guy does have a flat trigger, and the break on this thing is actually really nice. It breaks at 90 degrees, so a little bit of take up, and it breaks. A little bit of small bit of take up there, and it breaks. So both triggers are excellent, but both triggers are very, very different. In most all the H&Ks, I shoot the VP9 better than the P30s or the other hammer-fired H&Ks, but between these two, even without the optic, I shoot the Sig flat trigger a little better. I don't have a ton of flat triggers, but I do in this Sig, and I really do like it. So triggers, I kind of like the Sig better, but one thing I will ding the Sig on is how much trouble I had with this gun when I first bought it. This was the first concealed carry gun I bought, and it felt to me like Sig Sauer was kind of beta testing their customers, because this gun would not run for the first probably 100 rounds. I had all types of misfires and just failures to eject, and just it felt like the gun was really tight. And once I got about between 50 and 100 rounds in it, it's been flawless since. But those first 50 rounds, it really bugged me that I had to work out those kinks. For the H&K, it pretty much just runs all of the time. So I I would give the benefit of the edge to H&K as far as reliability and just being great right out of the box. The Sig took me a while to fall in love with. I've shot tons of rounds to it. I've qualified with it, and it's a great gun that I shoot really accurately. It just took me, 2 boxes of bullets to kind of fall in love with it, and I thought, they probably should have made the gun better right out of the box. So, would I choose between the two? I don't think so. I think they're both great guns, very, very similar in size. They both go bang every time you pull the trigger now. And I think if you're curious about one gun or the other, I'd go to your local gun store and pick them up. The Sig feels amazing. The H&K feels maybe better. The ergonomics are just, again, to die for on this. They both shoot really well. While this guy feels better, I shoot this guy a little better. The Sig does come with options for optics right out of the box, where H&K you have to have them sent off to be milled, which is more expensive. Price-wise, I didn't even look it up. I think they're probably going to be very close in price, unless you have to send this guy off to have it milled for an optic. So there is my quick, close, side-by-side look at two of, I think, the most excellent striker-fired subcompact firearms are in the market from two of my favorite gun manufacturers. Do you have experience with one or either, or both especially? Which one do you like better? I don't have the guts to make the call. I like them both, but I'd love to hear what you think. As always, thank you so much for watching my channel. I appreciate it.